Terribly sorry. I thought, yeah.
That's,
I'll call Mr. Garcia.
all right, Mr. Gatson, there we go. You may proceed.
All right. Mr. Garcia, you've heard the testimony provided so far by Ms. Mullins and also by your wife. Is that correct?
Correct.
So as we speak right now, do you have any concern regarding the current placement for any of your children?
Yes, I have all concerns that dated back to December with the Joneses.
Okay,
I have
just a minute. Do you have concerns regarding the placement of the 4 children in the elders home?
no.
Okay. So you said the Jones. Can you tell the court, without narrating, what specific concerns you have regarding placement with the Jones?
The current placement with the Joneses has been a concern since December. And just because it's ruled out, it still concerns with me because my kids told me stuff and are currently telling me stuff that's been taking place, even though they're claiming an investigation is taking place. I'm just concerned that my kids are sick every week, coming from the Joneses with fevers. My kids have always been a head start around other kids, multiple years, from Aaliyah down to Gracie. We've never had kids sick this much. We never had injuries of this magnitude. And the main concern I have is how everything that's been said has been lies, and I haven't had a chance to tell the truth about everything that's been stated.
All right. So regarding the concerns you have you personally called CPS? I mean, have you called to make a report regarding some of those concerns you've had?
Yes, reached out to the caseworker, Jesslyn, as soon as she was here in May, and the first thing she told me was everything's ruled out.
Okay. But that's to the caseworker. But have you called like the 1-800 number for abuse hotline? Have you done that?
Yes, I have done that.
And then when you did that, was that because you were concerned or just was it because you wanted to abuse the system?
I was concerned every time I called. I never intended to abuse the system, and I never did abuse the system.
Okay. And when you visit your children, you guys interact, right? You
Yes,
guys,
we interact.
all right. From your understanding, do they want to be with the Jones?
No, my understanding, they do not want to be with the Joneses. And I know Miracle does not want to be with the Joneses, no matter what anyone is saying. I have that audio recorded and video recorded.
Okay, just a minute. Don't forget, we're trying to protect your names. This is being protected.
Oh, sorry about that.
Okay, use the MG, right? You can explain the
Yes.
story, and I just wanted to say that. All right. So have you related this information personally to the caseworker?
Yes.
In what forms? How did you do it?
We have home visits, and I've told her numerous of times. And the last visit, even though the family plan said the kids haven't been to the visit, the kids were at the visit 3 times before we hired attorneys. And the caseworker, Jesslyn, was at that last visit. And she's seen Miracle and Aaliyah, even though they have in the family plan that Aaliyah and Miracle refused to come to visits. She was in the last visit and seen that the kids had a fever before the kids went to the elder's house because she brought the thermometer to the kids back in December.
Okay. And when we testified earlier, sorry, not me, not we, when your wife testified earlier, and also the questions asked of the caseworker regarding the busted lip for MG, swallowing a coin being swallowed, and your wife also testified about 40 hand bites. Do you share those same concerns?
Yes, that's very concerning.
Okay. So what, in terms of placement, what are you asking this judge to do for placement today?
I'm asking him to remove the oldest 2 kids from out of the Joneses' house because I never intended them to be there. Those children were placed in the house with sexual and physical abuse allegations, and it was not investigated. My kids were taken directly from me to that house, and no one talked to or questioned my kids. They were placed in the house with allegations.
Okay. And if the judge was to remove the 2 with the
Your Honor, I apologize for interrupting, but if the children's names aren't going to be controlled and the testimony is going to discuss that type of intimate abuse, I would ask that we go off YouTube.
I'll wait for the judge. You're not wait for you to make a ruling. Second.
All right. So the court will take that under advisement. Guard the names. Use only initials.
Okay, Mr. Garcia, I know you talk a little bit fast, and then that may make you kind of, don't forget initials. Sorry, Your Honor, that I have to say that. Okay, now let me destroy my phone. So if the judge is inclined to play the children with the only two names we have right now, which is the Elders and the Jones. What is your preference?
My preference is the elders and only the elders.
Okay. And then we brought up the name Amy Hyson. Right? Who is that person to you?
That's my aunt through marriage.
Okay. And your wife testified that the children have spent some time with Amy Hyson. Have you, is that true?
Yes.
Were you aware or not that in the beginning of the case, whether her name was brought up for possible placement at that time?
Yes, her name was brought up and her name was at the top of the list.
Okay. But you don't know any reason why she's not one of the placement, right?
They never gave us the opportunity to place our kids where we wanted them to be at.
Okay.
They were already displaced with the Joneses.
Okay. So now that you're talking to the judge, it's up to the judge now. Are you asking this judge to at least order CPS to look into the Amy Hyson as a possible placement?
Yes, please.
All right. Any other concerns you have without narrating that that this judge is not aware of? Briefly, if you want to tell the court.
My main concern is getting my kids back on track in a safe environment.
Okay. And then one last question for you, since it came up. You actually sent me your pay stub because I reminded you today around 12 o'clock. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Just wanted to be sure. Thank you. That's all the question you had.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Kayla.
The pay stub that you sent your lawyer was not the pay stub that we discussed at the last hearing. Is that correct?
That's incorrect. That is the same pay stub. It has 108 hours. If you look at the very bottom, and if you look at the top where it says pay rate, it's 3308 or 3380.
I see the 3380, but I can't see anything about the number of hours worked because this thing is heavily redacted. It's all redacted. Why is this pay stub redacted?
I told you the hours is at the very bottom. It says 108 hours. If you look at the very bottom.
I'm trying to look at it. It's very, very small.
I'd object
Yes.
to non-responsive. He asked why it was redacted and that question was not answered.
Can you elaborate on what redactive or redactive, whatever that word is, means?
Well, it appears that either a sticky note or some whiteout or something was used to make it to where we can't see the rate, the number of hours worked, the year-to-date earnings. There is no 108 hours on here. I cannot find it. It's redacted. There's information that you didn't want us to see.
No, the hours rate is on there, 108. That's what you asked for. You asked for the rate of pay, and that's what I sent you. And I made it very easy where you can only see those numbers. My employee numbers on there, the payoff rate at the very top.
Mhm.
And if you go to the very bottom, the hours that you asked for is on there, 108 at the very bottom on the left-hand side.
No, sir. I don't see it. Why would you redact all the other information from your pay stub as far as like the cost of insurance, whether or not you pay union dues? That stuff is important in calculating child support. Why would you redact that information?
When I talked to you, you said you needed to see the hour that I worked and the pay rate. And that's what I sent you.
I'm going to object to non-responsive, Your Honor. Actually, I can rephrase the question.
Right. All right.
You recall at the last hearing where I asked you to send your pay stub to your lawyer so that we would have your pay stub to be able to calculate child support, correct?
I sent you the pay stub. I sent the pay stub to my lawyer.
Do you recall your testimony at the last hearing where you said that you were going to send your pay stub to your lawyer?
I sent my pay stub to my lawyer, and I recall that.
Why did you wait until today at noon to send it to your lawyer?
My lawyer told me that he wanted me to scan the pay stub in.
Don't tell us what your lawyer told you.
Well, he asked a question. I'm trying to understand exactly how I'm supposed to answer.
Don't argue with me. What you talk to your attorney about is confidential.
I don't mind if I can just maybe help him understand if you don't mind.
You may.
All right. Mr. Gatson, whatever you and I discuss is attorney-client privilege. So nobody on this earth can make you discuss it. So this judge is actually protecting your right. So you can answer that question without telling me what in another way, right? Without discussing, so they don't reveal you are protected. He's trying to protect you. So proceed. Sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it for any confusion. I was just basically trying to say why I didn't send it over until today. I had to work, and the only day I had off was Monday. And then when I went to the library in Keverville, it was closed. That's how I was going to originally send it. And I had to work every other day. This is my time off now because of the court hearing.
All right. All right. Wait for the next question, if any. Go ahead, Mr. Kayla.
Thank you, Your Honor. I can't see it on this pay stub, the number of hours worked. You testified at the last hearing that it was for 108 hours. Is that typical? Is that your typical amount of hours per paycheck?
No.
Okay. What if that's the case, then why did you redact the year-to-date information on the as far as number of hours worked? Why did you redact any of the information on the pay stub?
Okay, again, and I'm not trying to be difficult. You asked for the pay rate and you asked for the total number of hours I worked. That's what I sent you with the pay stub. I didn't know that you needed all my other personal information.
Well, the other personal information, sir, is important in calculating child support. I asked you for your pay rate and the hours you worked so I could do some quick and dirty math while we were during the last hearing because you had failed to produce your pay stub to us or anyone.
All right, Mr. Gatson, do you have the pay stub in the room there with you?
In
I have
your
to,
pay stub I have has the hours on it. I've done the dirty math, but I have the 108 hours, Your Honor. I just don't have the year to date.
Okay, well, the court has heard some evidence that may not be typical. So, Mr. Gatson, send this to your attorney whenever you're passed as a witness, even if it means taking a picture of it from your phone, sending it to, sharing it with your attorney. We'll take it from there. All right. So let's return to the issue at hand, which is the placement.
Thank you, Your Honor. Why did you have your daughter taken to Miss Jones back in December when all of this started?
okay, I can tell you, but it's going to be a conversation Ms. Bible might not want on YouTube Live. Do you want me to go ahead and proceed with why I contacted them and the details?
Mr. Kayla, I don't believe the court needs to hear this. I recall the testimony from the multi-day adversary hearing.
Okay. With that, Your Honor, I will pass the witness.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Crocker.
Sir, other than what your wife testified to today, do you have any other testimony with respect to placement?
Can you repeat that? I didn't hear the very end.
Yes, sir. Other than what your wife testified to today, do you have any other testimony with regard to placement, meaning about the topic of where these children go as a collective unit?
My only concern is for them to be safe with the people I put on the list and just to have them together.
Okay. And that's pretty much what your wife went over, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Pass the witness.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Bytewood.
And I'm sorry if you already testified to this, but you said people you put on the list. Did you put Miss Amy on the child resource form?
He had the name just a little different. It's Annie Isom, ANNIE. She had a background check done. Yes, she was on the list.
Okay, good. That's all I needed to know. I'll pass you, and it's HISON.
No, it's ISOM.
M as in
I as in igloo, S as in Sam, O as in octopus, M as in Melissa.
Okay, thank you, sir. I'll pass you as a witness.
I don't have any questions, Your Honor.
Oh, okay, thank you. And Mr. Gatson, the first name spelling is it A-M-M?
No, A as in apple, N as in needle, N as in needle, I as in igloo, E as in elephant.
All right, Annie Isom.
Yes, correct.
All right, thank
It was
you.
it was on the paper that we returned in at the beginning of the year.
All right, caregiver resource form. All right, very good, thank you. Okay, Mr. Byrd, to you.
Mr. Gatson, you've heard testimony that your two oldest daughters have been progressing relatively well with their sessions and the environment they're in. Have you not?
I heard someone state that.
And as a father, you're willing to take them out of the environment that they're progressing in?
Sir, my kids were 8 honor roll students. Before they left my house, they were not getting in trouble. It was just a couple of things that Leah was doing that was very bothering and concerning. That's why I reached out to the Joneses from the start, because I can figure out
I'm
why.
going to object to him talking about my client by name.
I'm sorry about that. Just
The question
Mistake.
remains, are you willing to take two children out of the environment that they're growing in?
Aaliyah's making failing grades this year. I keep making that
And
mistake.
there's
I
no
apologize.
basis for those statements whatsoever.
I'm sorry. I
That was the
apologize.
first question.
Excuse me.
I withdraw that last question. I have no further.
All right, thank you. Back to you, Mr. Agbadi.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just briefly, so I'll help you out. AG, you said AG is making failing grade this year. Can you tell the court how you knew about that?
We have online things that we can see, and as of this year and last year, she had failing grades. We have record of that.
Okay. So the 4 children living with the elders, are any of them making failing grades?
As I'm aware of, no.
Okay. So is that a concern for you that AG is failing this year?
Yes, a major concern.
So is that something you want the judge to consider a part of placement that you guys are requesting?
Yes.
That's all the question I have here.
All right, thank you. Any other questions from anyone for Mr. Gatson?
Just to clarify one point, Your Honor, if I may.
All right. Mhm.
The failing grades that you're talking about are particular daily grades in certain subjects from time to time, correct?
From my understanding, from the I don't know exactly what the document is, but when progress reports come out of the average grade, and it has been actual individual worksheets or something of that nature.
So when you look at the progress report as a whole, she's on the AB honor roll. You understand that? As a whole, but the grade in the progress report, she's got all A's and B's. Do you disagree with that?
No, I do not. I haven't seen the progress report. I just seen averages that's in the online thing. Aaliyah had A's. I'm so sorry. I keep saying her name. AG had A's when she was in my household. Straight A's. She had 1 B, if I'm not mistaken, the entire last average of the last year in my household. So where the progressing part, I'm not understanding, like you said, she's declined at my house. She had straight A's. And she had top reading for 3 years in a row in my house. She's never been under.
And she's still making good grades in school. She's still making A's and B's on her progress report, correct?
You're saying I don't know, because I haven't seen that. I can only see what's in the online thing at the average. It says the average, and this has individual grades. It doesn't have the actual progress report. It doesn't have the actual report card. It just says what's the average is when I look at it. Okay. I can't see those things. The address was changed, matter of fact.
Thank you. I'll pass the witness.
All right, thank you. Any other questions from anyone for Mr. Gatson?
Not from me.
All right, thank you. Mr. Agbadi, you may call your next witness, if any.
Yes, Your Honor. Since I'm not too familiar with everybody, but I don't know if the elders are here or anybody from the elders home.
I believe that's Mr. Elder on the Galaxy Ultra. I believe. Is that you, Mr. Elder?
Yes, sir.
Right.
I'm here.
Thank you. Were you sworn, sir?
No, sir.
All right, if you'll raise your right hand to be sworn, please, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Erda. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. How are you?
I didn't see your name in the screens, so I didn't know that was you. Are you, how many of the children, how many of the Gatson's children are placed with you?
I have the 4 youngest children.
Okay. And how long have you had them?
We've had them since February of this year.
All right. And then since February of this year, I mean, when you guys interact, have you been able to form the opinion where they want to be?
Yes, I really don't. To be honest with you, I don't try not to talk to them about anything that's going on, unless it's something that's a prevalent need. But I have spoke with Junior, excuse me, DG has spoken with me out of the blue, telling me that he didn't want to go.
Objection here, say, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Okay. And no matter, without saying what the children said to you, but have you related any information to the caseworker or to my client about whether or not it would be ideal for the children to be with the Jones?
Yes, I approximately maybe 3 weeks ago, I sent a text message to the caseworker, Miss Jesselyn, letting her know that DG didn't want to go to his grandparents' house on that particular day.
Okay, so was that for just that particular day? But
Well,
yeah, I'll ask the next question. But based on what you know, DG and the other sibling living with you, are you of the opinion that they would prefer to be with the Jones as opposed to with you?
oh no, I believe they would prefer to be with me and my wife.
Okay. And is your house able to continue to accommodate all 4 children the way you have them right now?
Yes.
Is your house able to accommodate 2 other children, the 2 that are with the Jones, should the court consider placing them with you?
Objection,
Yes.
Your Honor. I don't believe that that's on the table unless I'm mistaken.
It's not sustained.
Okay. And in that case, that's all the question I have.
All right, thank you, Mr. Kayla.
No questions of this witness, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Crocker.
Mr. Elder, do you believe all the children should be together?
Yes, sir. I do.
Thank you. Pass witness. Thank you, Mr. Elder.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, Ms. Whitewood.
I have no questions.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Hollier. Okay. All right, thank you, Mr. Burt.
Your Honor, I'd just like to make a quick statement to Mr. Elder, a clarification of some of the questions I asked earlier concerning the state not being able to technically agree with placement. The state has nothing against you. We know anything that came up was a long time ago. Thank you for doing what you've done thus far.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that. I thank you with that. Appreciate that very much.
That's it, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Back to you, Mr. Ogbadi.
Yes, Your Honor, just kind of a clarification on this statement, because I knew she objected, so it wasn't on the table. I believe it was, because from your last hearing, you had said regarding the issue of child support, like there will be a question mark on that issue. So I don't think the issue was whether it was only for the Jones, in which case it won't be a question mark. I'm not trying to mislead the judge, but I try to remember what was the last time. So I think the question before you last time was whether all the children would be together, but I don't think there was an issue. It wasn't only like we would consider them for the Jones. I think it was vice versa. It's only today that testimony came up that the older 2 don't want to go to the elder. So, but I still think that's an issue before you. I mean, I'm not trying to argue, but just want to understand.
All right, let's move on.
Okay. So, because I stopped asking questions because of what you said, because I still think it's relevant for the record if the issue were not narrowed to just the Jones, but I think the issue were both of them, so I can finish my questions.
Let's see where we go.
Okay. So How often do they go, the children with you, Mr. Elders, how often do they see the Jones?
Children, the way it was set up, they go with the Jones every other weekend and every other Thursday. So the Jones have them approximately 6 days out of the month.
Okay. Is that the way it is now, or is that the way it's always been?
No, sir, that's not the way it's always been.
What was it before?
When we first got them, the way we were doing it was every other Thursday, and we would pick them up from daycare. Well, and they would also, the Jones would get them from daycare on Friday, and we would pick them back up from daycare on Monday. Well, like I said, there was an instance that happened with the court, like I said, when I was on the stand the last time. And after that, Miss Jones asked if we could pick the kids up on Sunday afternoon at 5.
Okay, so it changed at some point, okay, by court order. And when even now, when they go to the Jones, any hesitation, whether, I mean, do you have any opinion whether or not they want to continue to have that visit?
Yeah, I believe they want to still have the girls. MG most definitely does. Like I said, they want to see their siblings.
Okay.
They want to see their siblings. Yeah.
And then when they come from the Jones back to your house, the 4, do you observe any desire, like something like they want to continue visitation with the Jones, or any desire that they want to be together? I think I lost him.
All right, I believe Mr. Elder, are you there? All right, Mr. Agbadi, who was your next witness?
I wasn't going to have another witness here now.
Okay, has anyone gotten any word, maybe from Mr. or Mrs. Elder, concerning any attempts to get back on?
I have not, Judge.
Okay, thank you.
I don't have their number. I would have tested, but I don't have the information.
All right, so we'll move on, and then we will certainly allow you to come back to him. So if you don't have any other witnesses, then let me see, Mr. Kayla, you may call your first, if any.
Thank you, Your Honor. We'd call Faith North.
Right, thank you. You may proceed.
Ms. North, what's your relationship to this case?
I'm the CASA advocate.
And in that position as the CASA advocate, how much contact do you have with these children?
I see them once a month.
And how long have you been the CASA advocate for this case?
The end of February, but truly starting March.
Okay. So March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, 8 months.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And over the past 8 months, have you been able to observe the children, specifically the youngest 4, the younger 4 children, their behaviors and their relationships with the Joneses?
Yes, sir.
And what have you observed?
So when I visit some of my visits that I've gone to the Joneses house, the younger 4 has also been there. They are playing with their siblings, with their cousins, with the grandparents. Food is exchanged. The kids are running in and out. You can tell they're enjoying themselves. They're playing on all the toys that the Joneses have at their house as well.
Is the Jones home appropriate for 6 children?
So I haven't seen all the rooms, so I apologize. I don't feel like I can answer that appropriately right now.
Do the children appear to be very close?
Yes, sir.
The 4 younger children are very close to the 2 older children.
Yes, sir.
And the 2 older children are obviously close to the younger children.
Yes, sir.
Do you think it would be beneficial for all of the children involved if they were all in the same household?
I do, absolutely. You would always want to keep children together to have that bond.
And do you think that it would be in the children's best interest for that household to be the Joneses?
I think it's still all under, we're still going through this investigation, and I can't make that determination because I know that there's still stuff that needs to be done and everything, but I know that at the Joneses house, there's lots of love being shown, lots of laughter. The kids are enjoying themselves with the other children, with the elders. I have witnessed that myself.
Any concerns that you have about the Joneses or their home?
No, sir.
I'll pass the witness.
All right, thank you, Mr. Crocker.
Ma'am, what investigation are you referencing?
The investigation the reason why we're all here today.
Oh, okay. The initial complaint.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm sorry. I was under the impression there was something new. Okay. I'll pass the witness. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Would somebody know if Mr. Elder is on 427, last 427?
Yes, sir. I do have Mr. Elder's number and the ending 427. That is a number that I have one for him.
Right, Ms. North, thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I'm going to bring Mr. Elder back in the courtroom. Mr. Elder, I'm going to place you on mute, and we'll come back to your testimony as soon as we have concluded with Ms. North's testimony. So, all right, thank you, Ms. Bythewood.
No questions.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Hoyer.
I don't have any questions. Just witness.
Thank you, Mr. Burt.
Yes, Ms. North, the oldest two children, how long did you say you've been on the case?
Since March. I'll say since March.
Okay. Have you seen growth in the two oldest children?
Yes, sir.
Psychological growth?
I have, from the beginning, they were very quiet, and now they're more talkative. They're having conversations, not only with myself, but just with everyone. When I say everyone, I mean, in the house, I can see everyone talking, laughing, playing. At first, it was very, the two elder were very quiet, somber, in their, when I first met them.
Would you say they've come out of their shell since the initial placement?
Yes, sir.
Would it be detrimental in your eyes if they were removed from that placement? Would it set them back? They seem to be in a nurturing environment. Would it be detrimental to those two?
They are in a nurturing environment. I feel what I've seen. So yes, sir.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Agbaidi.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Ms. Nutt, thanks again. Slightly, we're asked if you have any concerns regarding the Jones home. Do you have any concerns with the elders?
With the elders, I had addressed those. I think from the beginning, they had asked about financial assistance, and I know that it's being dragged. I'll say that. And so as a parent, if my child is in need of something, I would definitely want to give it to them and not drag it out. And especially if the elders have expressed the needs of these children and what is needed, and it's being dragged out, I find that as a parent, and not giving to my child would be very hard, especially since I love my children, right? With the elders, and then I did express, which we've already gone over, just making sure that social media is not being addressed for these children in a manner.
Okay. So just specifics, I'm trying to understand because it was a little bit abstract. We said something being dragged out. Are you saying when the children ask them for something, it takes them a while to give it to the children? I just want to make sure I understand what you mean by dragged out.
Sure. So the elders have asked me several times about financial support, and I had expressed this this question several times, and now that it's been addressed, right? And we have talked about this now several times in court, and the parents are being, I feel reluctant of giving this information. You want to give to your child. As a parent, I want to give to my child. And if the elders are asking for some financial assistance and they're not getting it, are they truly providing for the children?
Okay. Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Mhm.
But in terms of the love, you said when they asked you about the Johnson, you said you witnessed a lot of love. Have you not witnessed love with the elders and the children?
I have seen Mr. Elder play with the younger, and I have seen Mrs. Elder held Gracie, and especially they've both shown love to the children. Absolutely.
Okay. And you said, I mean, I think they said they've been placed with them since February, and you've been on this case since the end of February, but officially March, right? About
Correct.
the same time that they've been with the children. So have you, other than the financial support, so let me just clarify. So the elders are kind of asking for something similar to like what? Official child support being ordered, something that like monthly guaranteed to come from the court, right?
Mhm.
Just like
That, and then the other.
what's the order one?
The other. So the other thing was making sure that you're keeping the children safe and not posting them on social media.
Okay.
That was my two concerns.
Okay. And that can be addressed by court ruling, injunctions, and all that. But child support, I mean, every parent in Texas asks for child support, even bad child support, right? But judges don't say, oh, because you asked for it, I don't think you're a fit parent, right?
I'm sorry, what was
I'm
the
just
question?
saying, when a parent asks for support, that doesn't make them unfit at all. Does
When
it?
the parent, so the placement is asking for support. And
Okay. But does that make a placement or a parent, anybody asking for support to be ordered, that should have been ordered, right? Is that something to be frowned upon because they're asking for it?
I'm not understanding your question. What is supposed to be frowned upon?
That the fact that they ask for support to be ordered.
That they've asked for support?
Yes.
That it's supposed to be frowned upon? You're asking me if the elders are capable, and these were the issues that they brought up, was financial, and the other was media.
Okay. No. And that's it for that. But let me move on. In terms of placement of these 4 children, since you have interacted with them, where do you think they want to be?
They want to be with their siblings. They want to be together. Do I think they love their parents? Absolutely. I've seen them interact and with their parents. I think that that's why we're here, to make sure that things are followed appropriately, and there's accountability.
All right. Just a few more questions and then I'll move on. The social media thing that you expressed with the elders, when did you bring that up? When did you tell them
That
about
was in court. We discussed that a while back, and we all had to sign a document in regards to that.
And then since then, have you have any other issues?
Not with that, because it was addressed.
Okay. So, all right, that's good. That's all the question I have,
All right, thank you, Mr. Caleb. Back to you.
No further questions of this witness, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Any other questions from anyone for Ms. North?
I had one.
All right.
It hit me. Miss North, last time we were in court, and correct me if I'm wrong, did you testify that the elders had asked for the children to be moved or something of that nature?
That the elders had asked the children, the younger 4, to be moved?
Yes, ma'am. And if you didn't, that's okay. Something clicked while you were testifying a moment ago.
I don't think that elders have ever asked for the children to be moved.
Okay. Then I have no further questions. Thank you for clarifying that in my head.
All right, thank you. Any other questions from anyone for Ms. North? All right, Ms. North, if you'll unmute, I have a few questions.
Yes, sir.
For you. Now, were the 4 youngest moved today? Would there be a change in their daycare, in their schools, in their churches?
in their daycare, I mean, they would still go to daycare as far as, I mean, I'm
Would they
assuming
go to
everything.
If the four were placed with the Joneses, would their daycares change that they're attending?
No, sir, not that I'm aware of.
What about their school?
No, sir.
What about their church? If at
I
all.
don't know if I've never heard them. I know that the elders go to church. I'm assuming they take them, but then every other weekend they're with the Joneses and they go to church with the Joneses as well. So I'm not seeing that that would be an issue.
All right. Let me ask you as all of their guardian ad litem, what is your recommendation today and the basis for it in terms of placing the youngest four with the oldest two at the Joneses?
What's my recommendation?
What is your recommendation in that regard and its basis or bases?
I think that all children together would strive to be in one household. I what I have seen even at the Joneses when they're all together, I've seen a very loving home, appropriate home. The only concern, and I just am unaware, is if there's room at the Joneses home. I did not look at the room, so my apologies. But as long as there is the room for them, I don't see any issue of why the four children and all children should not be together at the Joneses.
You had mentioned having noticed that the children's love for their parents. Do you believe that if I were to place the four youngest with the Joneses, would the Joneses continue to foster the love that the youngest four have for their parents?
I have talked with Mrs. Jones about that because as a parent and as her as a parent, loving her kids, loving her son, no matter what this is going through. And like she has told me she loves her son no matter what.
What is your belief in that regard?
I would like to believe from what her and I have spoke about that she would allow that she would foster these kids to still love their parents because those are your parents for life, no matter what happens. And children grow up and they make decisions. So yes, that would still, I believe that she would still allow these kids to love and whatever way that this court deems things to be, that she would honor that. And I don't think I've never heard her say anything to these children in a negative way about the parents.
Now, in your view, if I do not move the four youngest to the Joneses, should the court increase the visits with the Joneses overnights, weekends? Should the visits be increased, decreased, or left as is?
I would like to see it where it's, and I've expressed this to her once a month for a weekend because I do want the kids, because of all the back and forth where there was a lot of calls and into police, I wanted to see something because
Has that subsided?
yes, I've seen some subsiding, but I wanted to see even if the elders, the kids went back to the elders like that Sunday night. Were they taking the kids to the emergency room? Were they giving Mrs. Jones the medication that, whatever the situation was, if it was ointment or whatever? I wasn't hearing that either. And so I wasn't sure. I did want to see, let me, I don't know. It's a hard situation because these kids love each other. It's very prevalent.
All right, let's see if anyone else has any questions of Ms. North.
Yeah, no, in light of your question, if I can just get some clarification, if you don't mind.
You may.
All right. Miss North, basically, right now, if the judge doesn't think, sorry, let me ask, what is the visitation, the children with the elders, what is the frequency of the monthly visitation they have with the Jones, to the best of your knowledge that you know?
We spoke about that today, and it was 6 days per month that they got with the Joneses.
Okay. Do you know the breakdown? Is it like every other weekend or?
They said it was, we spoke about it on here. They said it's every other Thursday, and then every other Thursday. I wrote down every 6 days per month.
Okay, I got it. I think he was testifying to what they were doing before, but I'll call him back. He's here, but that's okay. But the judge, I just want to clarify your opinion as to what the judge was asking. Right now, all right, the visitation, the judge leaves the children where they are. Do you believe increasing the visitation with the Jones would be in their best interest?
Oh, the kids love to be with each other, and that's where I stopped at the end of this conversation with the judge. Was the kids love each other and they love to be around each other, and I'd hate to break that up. So whatever the judge decides, I'm going to stick with, because I mean, these kids love each other, and they're in, it's very prevalent when you're around them. If you've been around them, you would notice. I mean, they do love each other.
Okay. All right. And right now, I mean, they already broken up, right? Since February, since you've been on the case, they're living separately. I mean, we're trying to move on. And then when the judge asked you earlier regarding if there will be a change of daycare, you said you didn't know. So, okay, just to clarify, how far apart do the elders and the Jones reside based on your understanding?
So they're about, I think, 25 miles away from each other. However, the daycare is closer to the Joneses.
Okay, so that same daycare that the children in the elders home are currently in is actually closer to the Jones, right? That's what you're telling the court. Okay, that explains. And then what about the school? Those that are going to school, how far apart is the school
The
from?
Jones are closer to the school than the elders.
Okay, so more than likely in your testimony, the school and the daycare may not change.
Correct, because it's closer. It's closer to the Joneses.
And then as for the religious part, you don't know whether they go to the same church or different churches.
Well, both placements are pastors, and so especially since both, they'll have them on the weekend as well. They both go to, the churches wherever their placement is at. So it would still be very familiar to the children because they're both aware of where they go.
Okay.
Of the environment.
All right. I'm gonna let it go. But one last question. Well, based on you interacting with these 4 children, do you have any indication that they want to be moved from where they are right now? The one with the elders?
No.
Okay. That's all I have here.
All right, thank you. Any other questions from anyone for Ms. North? All right, thank you. Let's return to Mr. Elder's testimony. Mr. Elder, we seem to have you on the phone, so you may need to press *6 on your phone to unmute your device, please, sir. Mr. Elder.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Elder, is that you?
Yes, sir. It is. I apologize. My
not at all.
cell phone went dead. I apologize.
Not at all. We can all relate to that. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Obadi, you may continue.
All right, Mr. Elder, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, still me, Daniel, the one I was talking to you earlier. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I kind of from lost, but I'm going to ask just the last question, the question that I asked of Miss North. Do you believe it would be in the best interest of these 4 children living with you to be moved from you to the Jones?
No, sir.
That's all the question I have here.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kayla.
I've got no questions of this witness, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Crocker.
No further questions.
All right, thank you. And Ms. Bythewood.
No questions.
All right, thank you. And Ms. Hall, you.
I don't have any questions, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Burt.
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Okay, no other witnesses, Mr. Ogbadi, is that correct? You're muted.
I'm sorry, I think I was acting crazy right there. Mr. Joe Glenn Collar, I think the people with him are the Jones, right?
That is correct.
Okay. Since they are a party to the suit, I wasn't aware.
As far as I can tell, yes.
All right. If I can just briefly call them.
All right, and let me make sure, Ms. Jones, were you sworn in? Mr. and Mrs. Jones, were you all sworn in?
I was.
I didn't raise my hand.
No,
All right,
Paul
so
was not.
Paul was not sworn in.
let me swear in Mr. Jones, if you'll raise your right hand, and then Mr. Ogbidi, you can call whomever you want in whatever order you want. All right, sir, do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes?
Yes.
All right, thank you. You may proceed.
Ms. Jones, if I don't mind, I'll call Ms. Jones. Ms. Jones, how are you today?
I'm fine.
All right. I believe there were questions we asked regarding the house, but I believe you are the best person to answer the question. How many bedrooms do you have available in your house for these children?
We have 3 bedrooms.
Okay. And how many people currently reside with you?
My husband and I. And at
Mhm.
times, my stepdaughter will come on the weekends.
So that would be, right now it's 4, but some weekends will be 5. Right?
No.
Right
now, you're talking about right now?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, it would be 5. Yes, when she's there.
Yes. Okay. I'm glad. Sorry, I probably asked it wrongly. How often do you visit, or do the children who reside with the elders, how often do they visit with you right now?
The youngest 4?
Yes, ma'am.
Every week, 1 week, like they said, it alternates. Like this is our weekend. Next week, it'll be Thursday, weekend, Thursday, it alternates.
Okay. So is it Thursday through Monday or Thursday through Sunday?
The court order was Friday through Sunday.
Okay. And then Thursday is not overnight?
And the Thursday is the overnight.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, cool. Do you believe it would be in the best interest of the children, the 2 children with you, to be placed with the elders?
No.
Do you believe it would be in the best interest of the children living with the elders to be placed with you?
Correct.
But do you also believe that there may be overcrowding based on the number of space you have available?
No.
Okay. Are there anything that the children living with you right now need that you are not able to provide?
Is there anything they need?
Yeah, financially, emotionally, health-wise, like
We-
clothes.
Oh, they always need more, but we provide everything that they need at this time. So we've done that and we're doing that. Is that what you're asking?
Okay. And you heard testimony about coin being swallowed, ratchets. Sorry, I didn't say it was ratchets, but bites, right? Some bites and bites, busted lips and all that. But do you disagree that these things never happen?
Of the coin, that situation, I dropped the kids off. It was a couple, I don't remember how many weeks ago. And then Mr. Elder called me back when I dropped them off. They were fine, no issues, other than the fact of us having a hard time making them go with him. Other than that, health-wise, they were fine. He called me, I was almost home, and said that Mariana said that she swallowed a coin.
MG.
Let's use the initials, please.
MG.
Oh, God, I'm sorry. MG youngest. He said that she had swallowed a coin. So I asked them I told him, I said, well, she was fine when I left, but I'll come back. So I went back to them at the drop off. And when I got there, I questioned her about it because she was fine when I left her. And so she didn't swallow a coin because she was fine. She wasn't choking. She wasn't foaming, and I'm a nurse, so I would recognize these things. She wasn't having difficulty swallowing or breathing. But and we both discussed that, we both agreed, he said at that time, that it was just her because she didn't want to go. And that was why she was crying when I left. And so when I told her, don't tell stories, or did you swallow a coin? She did not. And so that was why I guess we didn't make a big deal of it, and I didn't turn it in because she was okay.
Okay. And do you believe a coin was swallowed?
No, she said it after we talked. Well, he let me talk to her. And so and she said no, she just didn't want to go.
Okay. And are you aware that EG had to go to the, I don't know, like not admitted in the hospital, but like to the emergency room after visiting your house? Can you elaborate on what happened?
Yes, on several occasions, a lot, I text the elders because the kids came to us sick. And so I would text them about it. They would not respond. I tried talking to them about it. They just say, okay, at the drop off. So I communicated, but that's some of the issue that they won't communicate back. I do provide medication when they're with me. I do breathing treatments, but they come to me sick.
All right. And I'm almost there. So what it also sticking on EG, okay? There was testimony that one time she had a swollen eye and 20 hand bites. Are you aware of any of those being a concern of the parent?
As far as the eye, we took pictures and there was nothing when she was with us. The only thing that happened were the ant bites with us. And just like any kid, they're outside playing, and she did get bit, but it didn't result in a hospital stay or anything of that nature. But she did get into some ants when they were playing.
Okay. And just a minute. The judge asked, I mean, maybe he will ask you again, asked me the CASA, sorry, don't see her name. Sorry, I'm trying to look for her. Asked the CASA lady, trying to use the correct name. Okay, I don't see it. Regarding fostering relationship, right? If this judge were to place all 6 children with you, how are you going to foster a relationship between them, meaning maintain it, between them and their parent?
The same way that I do now with the oldest MG and AG. We pray for them every day because that's something that they like to do. We talk about them, and I let them talk about them freely. I don't say anything negative. Neither my husband or I, we don't say anything negative about them because we still love them regardless of what's going on. So they're free. We're going to continue to do anything we did before as far as them.
Okay.
Loving their parents. I would never speak against that.
Okay. But the 2 children that you have right now, do they have visitation with mom and dad?
They chose not to.
Okay. I'm just concerned, right? What roles, if any, in terms of being a minister and all that, trying to help to make sure that they try to establish relationship with their parent? What have you done?
Rules.
How do you encourage it?
I encourage it, first of all, with them getting better because they're working on them. And I'm just like everyone else. I will honor whatever happens in this situation. But right now, my primary concern was them. But when they talk about their parents, they never talk about going home. So I just go as they express their feelings and wherever they're at that moment, whether it's just talking about what they used to do, which is mostly what they talk about. So I fostered them where they are in that moment. Is that what you're asking?
Yes. And then one last question. Okay. But so right now, these 4 children are having a relationship with their parent, right? Visitation. If they came, so if the judge placed them with you, is there a way you can guarantee that they don't become like the other 2 living with you saying they don't want to go or they don't want to see them?
Before they went to the elders, that was already established, and I took them back and forth, and there was not an issue with the youngest 4 with me taking them or whatever. So I would never hinder that.
Okay, that's all the question I have here now.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Kayla.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Jones, is there ample room in your home for all of these children?
Yes,
Will they all have beds to sleep in?
yes.
Is there enough room in your home to where there's not going to be any type of overcrowding issue?
There's no issue. And we even have an extra room that we don't use if we had to, but there's no issue.
Okay. When the kids come for the weekend, when the younger four come and stay for the weekend, everybody's comfortable.
Yes.
Okay. And as far as being able to get these kids to their doctor's appointments and daycare, well, let me slow down. Doctor's appointments, you would be able to do that.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
The daycare that they currently go to is the daycare that was originally, that you originally put them in when you had all 6 of the children, correct?
Yes. Correct.
So as far as the daycare and the school and the church, that will all stay the same?
Yes.
Okay. Do you believe that the younger 4 children want to come live with you and their siblings?
Yes, I do.
What types of behavior have you witnessed that would lead you to believe that?
When we take them back, it's hard. They don't want to go. I have to physically put them in the vehicle and walk away.
Let's slow down. When you say they don't want to go, what specific behavioral behaviors do you observe that makes you believe that they don't want to go?
Gripping me and me having to pry them off. Making Junior go and get in, like literally push him and go ahead. Ella crying.
Let's use their initials.
I'm sorry, EG crying.
Do you feel like that's hard on the kids?
Yes, I do.
Do you think it would be in their best interest to be together all the time?
Yes, I do.
I'll pass the witness.
All right, thank you, Mr. Crocker.
These physical manifestations that you just described, how long have they been occurring? The tugging, the crying, the things of that nature?
It started off that way, and then around June or July, I'm not sure on the dates. That's when the sister, Christian's sister, started bringing her kids to try to alleviate some of that, and then it started right back up. Not long after, I would say it was okay I would give it a month at the most, and then now it's back to the same thing.
How long is this latest?
It's October now, so I would say it started at the end of August, beginning of September.
So we discussed this a little bit in the earlier hearing, the one last week, or week before last rather. The presence of other children seemed to alleviate the anxiety, correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's the witness. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Whitewood.
Regarding the children's desire to visit with their parents, would it help if the parents actually took some responsibility for their bad behavior?
Yes.
Is that something that you want them to hear, that these children want them to admit or take some responsibility for the harm that was caused to them?
Yes.
Okay. Or at least acknowledge that it existed.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll pass you as a witness.
All right, thank you, Ms. Hollier.
I don't have any questions for Ms. Jones.
All right, thank you, Mr. Burt.
No questions, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Obeidi.
Just one, Your Honor, that I forgot to ask. Miss Jones, the court had asked the CASA, I think, oh, that's Miss Nunn. She was there, I'm sorry, Miss Nunn, whether if the judge keeps the children where they are, like, everybody stays where they are, do you believe it will help if the frequency of the visitation with you increase? Do you believe it would be in the best interest of the children or not?
That's a two-part question. Because when they do come, just like the coin situation, I wasn't even aware that they turned in. That's a concern, because if the adults have issues, it's going to overflow into the children. So increased visits mean increased turning in. So that's my concern as far as that. The siblings love being with each other. So the more they see each other, the better, as far as the siblings are concerned.
Just one follow-up. So just want to kind of clarify. So you believe the visitation among the siblings will help them, but you just got signed with the noise that comes with that.
The visitations will help them, but to be together to live would be better.
Okay, that's all. Thank you, Your Honor. That's all my question I have.
All right, thank you. Mr. Kayla, back to you.
Yes, sir. Just to clarify one thing, Ms. Jones, the problem with the more frequent visits is that every single time the kids come to visit you, somebody calls CPS and there's an intake and there's an investigation and it's ruled out. That has continued, and that has continued throughout this entire case as recently as the last time y'all had the children, weekend before last.
Yes.
Every single time. CPS is called and the report's made and an allegation's made against either you or your husband.
Yes.
Every single time.
Yes.
And you believe, and every single one of those has been ruled out.
Yes.
So your reluctancy to, if the children stay where they are, your reluctancy to have in more visitation, it is, could actually be detrimental because every single time y'all get to visit with these kids, the department is called and y'all are accused of abuse and neglect.
Yes, because I'm a nurse. I can't afford to keep being in danger of that. And he works for the state. So that's why we can't provide if this affects our livelihood.
Do you feel like if the children are reunited and all placed in your home, that hopefully the almost weekly reports would subside?
Hopefully.
I'll pass the witness.
All right, any other questions from anyone for Ms. Jones?
Your Honor, I just have one.
Right.
Ms. Jones, it's not just reports to CPS. There's also welfare calls that are called in on you.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so where the police come to your house on the weekends and late at night to make sure everything's okay?
Yes, they've had to wake the kids up in the middle of the night. We've had to let them walk through the whole house. Yes.
And has this happened numerous times?
Yes.
And is this disruptive to the children who are currently living with you?
Yes, especially the AG at first because she was already fearful. So we would have a hard time getting them to go back to sleep.
Do you feel terrorized in your own home?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll pass you as a witness.
All right, thank you. Any other questions from anyone for Ms. Jones? Ms. Jones, describe your support system for me.
I have church members as far as people that will help us. Is that what you're asking? I mean,
Right. That's important.
yes, I have church members that have been approved. I have sisters. I have a large group of people that help us or will help us if we need them.
What about Destiny?
Yes, my daughter as well.
Okay. And tell me, have you, assuming you all have thought about this, talked about it, you and Mr. Jones, how do you envision arranging the home, the room situation, and the like to accommodate all 6 of the children? I guess like you do it on the weekends. Let me know how that is for starters.
Actually, like Aaliyah, she likes to stay with
Initials.
I'm sorry. AG. She likes to spend a lot of time with Destiny. Destiny has a 2-bedroom home. So she likes to spend a lot of time over there. So sometimes she'll go over there. And then when they come over for the weekend, the youngest MG, she likes to spend a lot of time with Destiny. But if we also have two living rooms, 1 living room we don't even use. So if that's an issue, we could turn that into a bedroom, and it's a fairly large size. We don't even use that room. So that's an issue. We have 2 living rooms, the 3 bedrooms. We would make accommodations if we had to. Is that what he's asking?
I think he wants to know, what do y'all do now when
What do we do
when
now?
all 6 kids are there? Where's
Okay.
everybody sleep?
Okay. Well, the one bedroom has, the bunk beds, it has, and then DG has his own bed. And then the other bedroom, has a queen size in there, so 2 of the girls sleep in there.
Right. And do you know whether you have an approved home study through CPS or the network as to all 6 children,
Yes, they did. They approved it.
or for all 6 of the children?
Yes, they were there at that time when they approved it.
Right. And would that have been of the same structure, physical home in which you all reside now?
Yes. Yes, sir.
All right. Any other questions from anyone for Ms. Jones? All right. Mr. Ogbadi, you may call your next. I believe you called Ms. Jones. Is that correct? And you're muted.
I'm sorry, I did it again. You know, I did call Miss Jones, but that's all my witness. That's all that I have. No more witnesses.
All right. All right. Thank you. No other questions of Ms. Jones from anyone? All right. Mr. Kayla, do you have any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Crocker?
No, Your Honor.
Right. Thank you. Ms. Bythewood?
I'd like to call Tammy Brister.
All right. Ms. Brister, you were sworn, yes, weren't you? Yes.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. You may proceed.
Ms. Brister, will you please state your name and your relationship to the case?
Tammy Brister, and I'm the case manager supervisor.
And as the case manager supervisor, are you familiar with all the details of this case?
Yes, ma'am.
And when there's a decision made in this case, is it staffed with you and you assist in that decision?
Correct.
And are you aware that there is an approved home study on the grandparents, but the other placement's a court-ordered placement?
Correct.
Can the network approve that placement?
No, we can.
Okay. But are there any
Which placement?
I apologize. The current placement of the 4 youngest.
No, at this time we cannot.
Okay, the elder home.
Correct.
Are there any concerns with that home, though?
There's not necessarily any concerns with the home. They've done what they could to keep, to ensure that the children's needs are met. We do feel that it would be in the best interest for all the children to be placed together. That's our primary goal. We do believe that, they were placed with Miss Jones at the beginning of the case. We do believe that she did a good job in making sure that their needs are met. So we want all the children to be placed together.
When you're saying all placed together, where is the network asking the court to place the children?
The Miss Jones's residence.
Okay, and that was the initial placement and where y'all have always wanted the children placed. Is that correct?
Correct.
And were you in court about a month and a half ago when I specifically asked for a pay stub from the father so that we could determine what child support was?
Correct.
And to your knowledge, was that received prior to today?
No, I had not. Myself and my case manager had not received a pay stub until right before this court hearing.
Right. And did we ask for an entire pay stub, not just hours? We need the entire thing. Is that correct?
That's correct. And he's asked for it at every home visit by the case manager, according to documentation.
And in fact, that was court ordered a month and a half ago. Is that correct?
Correct.
Even though he's shaking his head, no, it was said, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay. So at this time, are you concerned about their ability to follow simple instructions?
I'm going to object to relevance. At this point, I believe you already addressed the pay stub issue, and also this is for placement, not a pay stub.
We don't have the child support information because we hadn't received the unredacted record that was court ordered almost 2 months ago.
Overruled.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Amy, what was your question?
Does it concern you that they can't follow simple instructions that are court ordered?
That's correct. And it's on the family plan of service.
I was going to object to mischaracterizations as to they. This was one person that was court ordered.
Okay, him.
Yes, it's concerning.
All right. A lot of questions. I'm not going to ask them. I'm going to pass you as a witness.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Hollier. Any questions of Ms. Brister?
I don't have any questions, Ms. Brister.
Right. Thank you. Mr. Burt?
No questions, Your Honor. She answered them. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Ogbadi?
Yes, Your Honor, just briefly. I mean, Ms. Brister, I understand the department have issues or approval with the orders, but the judge ordered it anyway. Since it was ordered specifically, what concerns do you have with the children staying where they are with the elders right now?
My only concerns is what's happening at the exchange of the children, their behaviors, not wanting to leave, and having all the children placed together. That should be the primary goal, is to have all these siblings placed together. They need that sibling, their siblings. They need to have that time. This is a rough situation for all the children, and I do believe them all being placed together would benefit every one of these children.
Okay. But appreciate your answer, but just the question is with the elders. What concerns do you have with the placement with the elders? Any?
My concern is the children's behaviors when they go back to the elders. That's the only concern that I have.
Okay. Children's behavior, but the elders themselves, do you have any concerns regarding them?
I do not have any concerns with them at this point.
That's all the question I have, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Kayla, any questions of Ms. Brister?
2 questions, Your Honor. You feel like, Tammy, you feel like it would be in the children's best interest to be together, correct?
That's correct.
And the only place that the department can support the children being together is with the Joneses.
That is correct.
Pass the witness.
All right. Thank you. Any other questions from anyone for Ms. Brister? Mr. Crocker? No questions, Mr. Crocker. All right.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Any other witnesses, Ms. Bythewood?
No, Your Honor. If it's permissible, I rest.
All right. Thank you. Ms. Hoyer?
I have no witnesses, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you. All right. At this point, the court will entertain brief closing arguments. Mr. Burt, you may begin or defer.
Your Honor, I'm going to stick with what I started with. In the beginning, I didn't have any discussions with the caseworker or the case manager prior to the hearing. But upon hearing the testimony here today, I feel it is in the children's best interest, especially since the oldest 2 children have grown and come out of their shell. I think it would further grow those 2 children to have their siblings with them in Miss Jones's residence. And I believe testimony supports that. And that's what the state would ask for today, along with whatever child support it is, it's calculated, because I still don't have a copy of any of the information. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Burt, thank you. Mr. Ogbadi?
Thank you, Your Honor. I thank you for giving us this time. I believe you have actually accommodated us more than you said, right? But that said, I am, I mean, we are at your mercy at this point because the children are in the system. But I do believe that, parents' ability to take care of their children is fundamental to the entire existence of humanity. That's why God gave it to them. Why the state may have taken over, but I still think the input of the parent is still paramount to where we are. 1, their parental right has not been terminated, and they are working services, and I believe their input or their requirements should be taken into account. There is no, they don't trust the Jones. That's okay. I don't know why, but they don't trust the Jones. I think their request to either consider someone new, why that may not have been before you today, I still think you can order his son to be considered, even if you don't make that decision today, but order the department to look into for the future. And also, I still think you should consider either placing all the children with the elders. There's no testimony that the elders have hurt them in any way or that it would damage them other than they don't want to go, right? That's just it. There's no testimony that, to the contrary, this testimony supports the 4 children staying with the elders because that's what the elder says. They're the closest to these four children. So far, since February, there's been no issue. So taking the testimony of the children and the desire of the parents and the testimony offered by the elders, either you leave them, do what the parent want, consider the parent request of leaving them where they are or placing the other 2 with the elders and also ordering for his sum to be her sum to be looked into. Thank you. That's all I have.
All right, Mr. Ogbadi, thank you. Mr. Kayla?
Your Honor, we believe that it would be in the children's best interest. It would be, it would not only be in the children's best interest, but also beneficial for these children to be reunited and placed in the Joneses' home.
All right, thank you, Mr. Kayla. Mr. Crocker?
Your Honor, I didn't hear any testimony today that indicated that anybody involved thought the children should be separated. So obviously there is a potential solution at hand. It's either the elders or the Joneses. We have a approved home study for one, not for the other. I understand it was from some incident way back, no fault of maybe Mrs. Elder. I don't even know what that's about, but there's statutorily or maybe perhaps policy prevents them from the consideration. We do know this. Since the Jones have been involved, that there's been constant and frequent calls to CPS, so much so that the department has to go above and beyond and assign special investigators to investigate each and every claim. I think we can all read between the lines and indicate that that's a way to attempt to get the attention of the department to steer it away from the parents onto the Jones and say, this is where the elders belong. There's been no calls against the elders. I think that honestly shows bad faith, Your Honor. To come to court and say his child choked on a coin and to have testimony to say, yeah, it was just a child not wanting to go. There was no coin being choked upon. It's just further indication that we've got parties involved here that clearly don't get along, but nonetheless are going to have to get along for the sake of the children. I believe at this point in time, considering the late stance of the case, the children should be placed where they may potentially be for a longer time than just the duration of the case. And that's with the Jones, and they have pleadings on file. Thank you.
Mr. Crocker, thank you. Ms. Bytewood?
The children were initially placed with the elders out of consideration for the parents. The parents wanted an alternate placement, and that happened. I can tell you that I heard from my client about that. She was very unhappy about her siblings being moved. She was very unhappy about not living with her siblings. Her safe place is with her grandparents. The idea of moving her from her grandmother's home is inconceivable. She has opened up about abuse in her parents' home. She has opened up about, and the word that keeps coming to my mind throughout this entire hearing is gaslight. And these children have been gaslit over and over and over, and it's just sickening. At this time, what's in their best interest is to be together. My client wants to be with her siblings. I wish to God these parents could take some form of responsibility so that they could move on to become parents of these children. In the calculations of child support, dad's net pay is $7,040.62 a month. 40% of that is $2,816.25 a month. And I believe that he should be ordered to pay child support in accordance with the guidelines. This has been asked about for months and months and months. He's been ordered to provide his pay stub. This court has ordered him in person to do that, and we still don't have it. But based on what he provided today, that's the calculations that I came up with. And thank you, Your Honor. Nothing further.
All right, Ms. Bythewood, if you will give me that number again, the 40%.
$2,816.25.
Okay, actually, I did get it. All right, thank you, Ms. Hoyer.
Thank you, Your Honor. I believe we all can agree globally, and what the testimony has shown is that everyone, all parties, everyone that's testified believes that these children should be together. I've personally been to the Joneses home. I've been to the elders home. The comparison and the size, there makes no common sense to argue that the Jones don't have the space for these 6 children. They absolutely have the space. This is their grandmother, whom has family in and out that these kids are so very bonded to. And I've observed that with my own eyes. I think that the global theme, and everybody can agree, these kids should be placed together. It's not lost on anybody, even the parents, in their testimony. And that's what I think the court should do today.
All right, Ms. Hollier, thank you. Mr. Burt, anything further?
I need to make sure that Ms. Brister has that number, or whatever number the court settles on, as far as child support.
All right. Okay.
Josh, if you can repeat it, 2,800 what?
16 and 25 cents.
Okay, I got it.
6 children, 40%. Is that right, Ms. Bythewood?
Yes, Your Honor. It's also taking in consideration 28.98 hours of overtime at $50.70 an hour, and 80 hours, regular hours, at $33.80 an hour.
All right. Did I hear testimony that this weekend is the Joneses weekend?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And what time is that scheduled to begin? What time is the pickup?
5:30 this evening.
All right. All right. Based on the evidence and the best interest of all of the children, the subject of the suit, the court does hereby order placement of all 4 of the youngest children with the 2 older siblings with Mr. and Mrs. Jones. Court finds that's in the best interest of the children. The children shall be dropped off, picked up at the time mentioned by Ms. Jones. I believe it was 5 or 5:30. The children shall not return, but shall remain with the Joneses. I do want to thank the elders for all that they have done for the children. I certainly it would be quite unfortunate for the children were they to drop off from the lives of these children. Clearly, there was a point in time when I believed that placing the 4 youngest with them was in the best interest of the children. Things change, and so hence my ruling and order today. The court is going to direct the attorneys to submit a proposed child support order obliging Darren Gatson to pay to Melissa Jones $2,816.25 a month, commencing on October the 15th and the 15th of every month thereafter until further order of the court. The court finds this is in accordance with the family code, the evidence, and the best interest of the children. That is to be submitted to Ms. Wallingford, my coordinator, by 5 p.m. Tuesday, 10:15.
And I have a question regarding child support, if you don't mind.
Go ahead, Mr. Agbadi.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't get to discuss it, but the code, based on the evidence you've known before, that Miss Gatson is, she's disabled 100%. So Mr. Gatson is the one supporting both of them. And 154, 123 of the family code does allow you to deviate from due to extraordinary circumstances. So the fact that he's basically supporting the entire family, I believe you do have the power. Because based on what they said, the 7,000, about 7,000 gross. Of course, he has to pay taxes on those, and then the net, whatever is left for the net, and then taking 2,800 from that for why he has a disabled spouse. In my opinion, this is exactly what chapter 154 and 123. There's 17 factors you have to follow, and one of the things specifically mentioned is whether or not it would appear unjust. But because he's supporting a disabled spouse, I believe if you follow the guidelines in this case, it will be unjust. But that falls within your purview to reduce it a little bit, because it's going to cause undue hardship, and also the fact that they are facing active litigation. They have to go get two different attorneys. So I do feel like it would be in the best interest of these children there for you to deviate, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Ogbadi. I'm not, however, persuaded that that applies. The perceived injustice that I have before me is not that one.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Now, that said, if by 5 o'clock Tuesday, the 15th, if you all can agree, if the attorneys can agree on a different amount than the $2,816.25, then I will strongly consider that agreement and that order. Okay.
In your honor, I apologize if I wasn't clear with Mr. Ogbadi. That's the net. His gross is $9,041.50.
I appreciate it. Thank you. It wasn't clear, but nice clear.
Okay. All right. Very good. Thank you all. And so I will be looking for that order again electronically to my coordinator by 5 p.m. Tuesday, October the 15th. All right, parents, remember, continue to work your services, continue to demonstrate what you are learning, wherein you are changing, if at all. Remember that if at the end of this case, if you're not willing and able to provide a safe environment for your children, your parental rights may be further restricted or even terminated permanently. Our next scheduled hearing in this case is for a permanency review before final order, and that is January the 15th, 10 a.m. Our dismissal date is June the 7th, 2025. Now, I want to further admonish and caution everyone in this regard. Making false child abuse reports is a crime pursuant to Texas Family Code 261.107. If convicted, it is a state jail felony. That means up to 180 days to 2 years and a $10,000 fine. There are also provisions for attorney's fees and civil penalties. So a word to the wise, everyone be aware of that. All right, anything else from anyone else?
Oh, yeah, no, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you all very much. Please take care, and we are adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.